Welcome. This is Kristen Crabtree with the Lance Edwards Group. We have a special treat today. We are interviewing a new apartment champion who is here to share his story about how he closed on his first multifamily deal since getting started with Lance's system. Please help me welcome Michael.
Thank you.
Great. So I'm going to start like I always do with just the sort of, general details about the deal. So the deal that was his first one when he started working with Lance was a 2-unit. He did have some prior real estate experience before getting involved. He was drawn to invest in real estate for wealth building reasons. His profit strategy was one of rehab and hold. He's located in Southern California and the deal is in Memphis. He found out about the deal through a local contact in Memphis, and he could really see the upside profit potential. He put $30,000 of his own money into the deal and used a hard money lender to finance it. The property did need some work and his earnings were $10,000. Does that sound like a pretty good recap, Michael?
All true. That's all true.
Awesome. Awesome. So before we get started, share with me a little about your personal and professional background.
Well, thank you. I graduated with a 4-year degree in accountancy, and I worked for 25 plus years in accounting. And I've never felt like my destiny was in my own hands. I felt like I was working hard for other people. And if I was successful, then I would get promoted so that I could work even harder. And I said, well, this just doesn't seem to make sense. I want to see what else is out there. So towards the 2017 presidential election, I had sold a personal residence. We did pretty well on it and moved into another place. And I said, I don't know if I'm comfortable putting this money into, like a stock market or, a traditional savings kind of a thing for my retirement. Is there other ways that I can use this money and leverage myself into a better, wealthy situation? I'm from the Midwest, but I live on the West Coast. I like the Midwest, but I like the West Coast weather. Through sorting through some different contacts, I started working with some wealth advisors, some people that had alternative type routes to grow and increase net worth. And through that, I got started in some real estate. I purchased, a single family home. That was my first property that I purchased. One thing leads to another in this kind of endeavor, as you well know. And the next thing you know, you own a couple of them, and then you say, maybe I can go faster if I go to multifamily or if I go to small apartment units. I wonder how I could learn about that, because it's going to take me a long time with these single families to accumulate my wealth. It's nice to have passive income when I retire, but I'm retiring a little sooner than some other people are getting started. So, and from there, I ended up buying an 8-unit building in the Chicagoland area. And I'll shortcut a few steps like that. I said, I need to learn more about apartment buildings, about multi-unit buildings. I need to come up with a different strategy, because I have this 8-unit. It's kind of a C plus or a B. And then I have these single families. I bought them at pretty reasonable prices, but they, you go through these ups and downs as a real estate owner. Somebody moves out and you've got to clean the place up, or something breaks, or, you're getting these phone calls and emails and, oh my gosh. And through those hard knocks, you realize that sometimes you have catastrophic thinking. Something hits you and you said, oh my gosh, the whole world is coming to an end here. This is really bad. So if there are others like me that, while at the same time they had this career and they're working all these hours for somebody else, but they're trying to get out of it. Now you're kind of juggling these two things, and you're managing these two things. And then, you have your family and your loved ones. So you want balance in your life. But you're going to go through, like I say, these ups and downs. So in my desire to learn more about multi-units, perhaps I would leverage my 8-unit, perhaps I would sell it. Perhaps I need to learn more about how to do my analysis and due diligence on these properties. Sometimes I would blindly buy something, and I get this feeling in me. It's like, I gotta buy this. So I was fortunate to start listening to some live recordings from Lance Edwards and from his classes, some of his trainings. And I bought his book. And then I said, I'm gonna take a leap here, and I'm gonna sign up for his boot camp, his 3-day boot camp, which I did. I did it virtually from home during the pandemic, and I got so much out of it. And I still, to this day, have many, many valuable things that I learned and was given during this boot camp, and fantastic things. And from there, I started to feel more confident about going out and let's try some of these strategies. What if I went out and I bought 3 or 4 duplexes, and I flipped a couple of them, and I sold one of them, and I kept one of them. Sorry. And I went down. That was a change of direction from me, a change of course, where I said, this is how I think I want to try to do this. If I can get to a certain number of doors and build enough passive income, now as I'm approaching 60 years old, I can say, hey, I see a way where I could have mailbox money coming in here. I see a way how I could do a couple transactions every year and get a gain on these things. And this is, I feel a lot better doing this. I'm having more fun doing it. I'm meeting happy people doing this. And through one of my contacts, as you mentioned, in Memphis, I became aware that there was a duplex. It needed some work. And I said, okay, we're going to put some money down on this. We're going to get a hard money loan, and we're going to have this duplex upgraded, rehabbed, and looking nice. And we think that we can sell this and make some money. And I'm going to share some of this with my person that I'm working with in Memphis. And then I'm going to make some money too. And this is going to lead me to more of these kinds of business deals. And it is, to this very day. Now we flash forward into 2022, and I'm still working. I'm still using these models, and I'm still being successful. Every once in a while, I might do a single family here or there, and use some of these same principles. So, and I just to go backwards a little bit, I'm still hanging on to this 8-unit building in Chicago. It's not my favorite market. I learned a lot about markets. I learned a lot about A, B, and C properties. I learned about how to use this and leverage this to greater value. And I'm still hanging on to that 8-unit building. I'm a W-2 wage earner, and I can tell you that real estate investing has really helped me on my income tax returns. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I have a couple deals going on right now. I own a couple duplexes. I still refer back to my Lance Edwards training that I have. I still have some of the documents that I used. I still get some emails where I listen to some live recordings and listen to him. And it's one of the 2 or 3 powerful real estate things that I have that keep me going. And now I'm at the precipice here of retirement, and I have to take that leap of faith and say, okay, no more W-2 work. I need to do this full time. I need to jump in here with both feet. So almost at the summit. And with that,
So
Chris, go
what
ahead.
year did you start working with Lance?
I started working with Lance towards the end of 2020. It's
Okay.
right around the middle to third quarter of 2020.
Okay. And so since that time, how many apartments have you purchased? Is it the 2-unit in Memphis? Is that the one, or have there been others?
There has been others. I currently own a duplex also in Memphis. And I've also bought 2 duplexes and have worked to have those rehabbed and sold and made a profit on them. So own an 8-unit building, own a duplex, looking at buying another duplex. I'm right in the end zone of buying another one, bought and sold 2 to 3 others. And also, I think I bought 1 other single family too. I've sort of shifting away, and I've sold some of my single family homes. And I use those monies to help me leverage into other things.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. So you mentioned like wealth building as one of the reasons you looked into real estate investing. Is there anything else that you were trying to solve by getting started with real estate investing?
Having just one career option, like I'm in finance and accounting for corporations, it's a better feeling if you have some other plans that you're kind of planting some seeds on. What if I started working on real estate part-time and it became a full-time adventure for me? What if I found a way to make some sideline income doing some real estate stuff part-time? So those options, in addition to the wealth building, are things that excite you. They sort of motivate you, and they're a reason to get up in the morning. And I'm not saying that having a corporate finance and accounting job is bad, but having that and also having a real estate option where someday you could say, hey, this is something I could do for a long time, and I wouldn't have to drive into work and deal with all these complicated numbers and reporting systems.
So you obviously had a good career going before you got into real estate. So what was your financial situation like before you began investing?
I would say that I would answer that by saying that my financial situation was such that I didn't have clear goals. I didn't have a direction, and I needed to do more than just my accounting and financial career. So, for example, let's say I wanted to become an accredited investor. The definition being, I want $1 million or more of net worth, not counting my personal residence. Now, there's some other definitions or qualifications that might get you to be an accredited investor. And now I started to think about money differently. I started thinking it in terms of net worth, and I started thinking it in terms of cash flow. And when I went through that sort of mental shift, which you get from studying real estate from people that know a lot about it, my financial situation has increased. It's improved a lot. I took the money that I made on the sale of my personal residence, and I was still able to go get another personal residence. And I took that, and now I have sort of a tenfold opportunity in real estate that I didn't have, because I was not going to just give my money to somebody and say, can you put this in an IRA, and go through the ups and downs in the stock market that we saw. I felt like it was obvious to me that real estate was a much clearer path for me without, some of those ups and downs. And all of these guiding principles for real estate I hope I've answered your question and not gone too far. Geez, somebody's paying me rent, and I'm using that money to pay down the principal that I owe, because I borrowed some money to buy this property, and there's some appreciation going on in this property, and yeah, it's opens a door that previously this is some kind of growth that doesn't just have to do with money for me.
Awesome. So starting with the money part of it, do you have a specific financial goal?
My goals are that I want approximately $80,000 a year to come in through passive income. And I want to minimize all my debt and all my tax obligations. And I feel like that's one of my benchmark goals. To get to that, I'm going to need a certain amount of real estate. I'm going to need a certain amount of passive income. I'm going to need to pay some of these things off. And now I started my real estate journey in 2017. I started working with Lance in the middle of 2020. So I'm maybe 5 years into this. And very easily within another 5 years or less, I'm going to be right on the doorstep, knocking on the door of some of these goals that I mentioned, where, hey, I paid off all my debt and I own my house, and I have these properties that are producing cash flow. And let's say I need to replace a roof. Well, I can absorb that kind of the situation. It's built into financial models that I hope that answered the question, which was a good question.
Absolutely. So what's your ultimate dream?
Well, that's a great question, but I would like to be able to travel more. I would like to be able to travel to great destinations, and I would like to be able to include my family in that. And I have two granddaughters and a son. My mom is 88. I need that freedom to be able to go and spend time with her. She's she needs help and she's at the end of her life. To get that kind of time freedom, it's I can't put a number to what that is in terms of my dreams, but basically, I don't want to work 40 hours a week or that many hours anymore. I need that flexibility and that freedom. When you get that and you can travel and you can help your family and friends and go see them, it means a lot. You're impacting their life, they're impacting your life, and you don't get that at work so much. So I'm kind of not giving you a concise answer to that, but it's a thought-provoking question, and I'm going to write that down and say, what is my dream? Because I've kind of given you a couple bullet points under there. Thank you, though.
Yeah. So let me ask it kind of a different way and see if that sheds any additional light. In what ways were you hoping or are hoping real estate investing would change your life?
I wanted to have more flexibility with what I would be working on in the last third of my life. I just didn't want to rely on accounting and finance and corporate jobs. So now, here I am, and my life has changed because now I have another option. I can see another way for me to meet my financial goals, to get my freedom, and I can do that through real estate. And there's no way, I can't quantify that exactly, but if I tell you that I want to make $80,000 a year in passive income, it's through real estate that I now can see, that light at the end of the tunnel. So Real estate's changed my life in ways where I'm focused. I'm able to focus on something that I feel is true and meaningful, adding value to my life, and maybe I can add value to other people's lives too. That's a game changer for me. Just through real estate, and I'm still on my journey. I'm still learning things. I'm still out there looking around. There's it changes. Things shift and change a little bit, but I hope I captured the essence of that question. Good questions.
Sure. Thank you.
Thought
So,
provoking.
thank you. So you started in single family residences, you transitioned on your own to the eightplex. So where did you get stuck? Like, why did you reach out to Lance to have his help?
Um, when I started listening to some of Lance's presentations, I quickly realized that I was out here trying to do some of the stuff on my own, which is a fault that I've made in some other areas of my life too. I'm sort of sort of an introvert. I'm just going to sit in my room here and figure this stuff out. And I quickly realized, or as I was started working with Lance, it was like a light went on that should have went on a long time ago. It's like I need a mentor. I need somebody to work with on this. I need to get involved with a network of people that I can ask questions and learn from and figure stuff out. So that was my first big step where I said, I need to work with somebody. I need some coaching and mentoring, and I need a network. And I just listened to some Lance. I looked at some Lance information and I said, that's it. That's where it's at. I can get all that there and more. So that was a game changer for me. That was where I needed to really do that. I might have had some other real estate contacts, but nothing that could provide the width of that training.
Okay, good. And was your spouse, your family on the same page as you about getting into investing?
No, my wife is sort of nervous about this kind of stuff. But we've always watched a lot of home improvement shows, and I know she has a passion for that, for making things nice and fixing that. She just was like, I don't want us to get in trouble. We're going to lose our house and we'll be out on the street, kind of a thing. So I couldn't tell her all of the things that I couldn't always explain to her all of the things that that I was doing. I mean, there's this initial fear. There's this thinking about money that you change your perception of that when you work with good coaches and good mentoring and good networks and you study materials like the kind that you get with Lance Edwards. And now you're thinking, and it changes about money. It says, hey, I don't have to be afraid to take out a hard money loan, or if there's a way I can get into this, these people that, oh gosh, you should never do that kind of stuff. That's very risky. One of my friends, he got a lot of trouble. You're not always able to engage some people because they're just not open to hearing about that at that time. So I share stuff with my wife, and I'm always happy and thankful when I do. And now I just have to get her to, I tried to get her to attend the boot camp with me. She said she would, and she listened in on some of this, and we still have that material. So yes, I have a son, and I want to partner with him on real estate. I want to bring him in, and he needs to start doing this. Don't wait. I don't want him to wait until he's as old as I was when he gets started. He should start now. And he's starting an HVAC business. And boy, that could fit in with some real estate stuff that you see happening from time to time.
Yeah, definitely.
it gets hot in some parts of the country and they need they need air conditioning.
Yep. So what obstacles did you face when getting started?
Oh, what obstacles did I face? The first one was, I know this is a little bit off topic, but I had to learn to overcome some of the fears, and I had to learn, I had this mistrust of people that, oh, he's presenting me with information and he's got something up his sleeve that's going to help him. And so I needed to get better at sort of reading situations and people like that. Of course, I had some ups and downs when, you get those first couple of repair bills that come in and say, this person left and, they trashed this unit and it's going to cost a lot of money to clean this thing up. And you're not going to get any rent for a couple of months. And you're just like, oh, I had all these schedules built out and I planned to get all that money. And now it's not going to come in. I'm going to have to hit the reset button and figure out something else. We'll be okay. I got my accounting and corporate job over here and we'll get through this. We'll clean up this unit, get it rented out, raise the rent, and we'll move on. But that was an obstacle that I had to overcome. I bought probably some C single family homes, and when you do that, somebody just went in there and put a coat of paint on those things, and there's problems with them. And then the type of tenant that you would get into there, is commensurate with kind of what you paid for the property. I mean, but so you get when you study real estate from some of the people that have successfully built these repeating practices, you start to learn. You hear things like, what if you found an apartment and it was $25,000 a door and it was in the southeast part of the country and you could get seller financing, and those are leveraging practices where you get this equity upon buying it. Whereas if I went and bought an $80,000 home and it wasn't in great shape, I didn't fly over there and visually inspect it, although I had an inspector look at it. There's things going on in that house that I don't know about. They're going to be a pothole down the road for me. So I had to learn that. And then title companies and tax bills and insurance and all great learning opportunities for me. I'm not buying another multifamily on the south side of Chicago anymore. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. That was sort of an impulse buy. I was working with somebody and I trusted that person. I still do. I think highly of that group, but I would have done a lot more due diligence and analysis and sort of got a feel for that. I asked around. I tried to do that. I know people that they fly and visually inspect everything that they buy, and I didn't. I chose not to go that route. I like the Midwest part of the country. I don't like California in terms of what I see for sale out here at this time. But what other learning experiences did I have? I have to present information to my wife in a certain way at a certain time of the day, and make sure that I don't surprise or upset her. I want to keep her as a partner and happy. So I learned that. And then goal setting. That's always kind of an evergreen exercise for me. It's changing and it changes a lot. And I was sort of a habitual learner, and I became that even more. I'm trying to soak up all the information and education that I can. I think that's all that I have.
Okay.
Good question, and thank you.
Sure. I'm curious about the first answer to that question, the mistrust of people. So how did you get around that? How did you overcome that? Have you?
I think I have. If you get your feet under you and you're on enough solid ground, then you start to do a transaction with somebody. You sort of have a feel for that person, and you sort of have a quiet voice in your head that said, if we do this and it goes horribly wrong, and I I've got a little bit of a safety net. This is where I'll go with this transaction if it really goes south. And I think I know enough about this person that I know that if something again really goes bad, that it's going to be on this person is going to be paying a price for this transaction as well. And so I grew in my confidence level about who I could trust. And, if I started out and I had a 95% mistrust of people that I didn't know, then I slowly, it kind of, my confidence grew, and my ability to read people kind of grew, and my ability to research people and get a background, check on them. Hey, have you worked with this guy? And all those little things. It wasn't a light switch for me, but I'm more comfortable now in working with people. And as I say, you grow a network of people and you talk to them about stuff and people and stuff like that, and you're able to sort of weigh and sift through these things. And it's been 5 years, and I'm still growing on that. And I might make a few more mistakes here or there. I have made some mistakes.
Sure. I mean, that's inevitable.
Yes.
So
I
you
hope that
faced obstacles with the trust and with skill set and with picking when and how to communicate with your wife.
and fear of money.
Fear of money. Uh-huh.
Or not fear of money, but how do I say it? The fact that I became comfortable taking out a loan and didn't, I had more long-term thinking that, gosh, I'm $100,000 in debt here on some properties, and holy cow, this feels like a cheap tent in a windstorm. But I overcame, that was an obstacle that I had to overcome to get the money thing, As you would hear Lance say, stop thinking about the money, you're too wrapped up in the money. We'll work on that money part of it. But so hope that helped, or I hope that answered the question.
Sure.
Other obstacles, yeah, that was, the focus thing where this is a sort of a lifestyle thing that I don't know if other people, but you're trying to do a lot of things, at the same time, and make people happy and keep balancing your life and achieve these objectives. And by doing this stuff, you grow, you get better at that, you grow, and you say, I got to focus on the right things, and I've got to take care of the important things. And I can't let stuff slide, but I also can't let people down that I love, and they're my family, or they're my business partners. So I had to learn. It was a personal growth thing where, hey, I can handle this. I can balance this stuff out, and so wanted to mention that.
Okay, great. Why, when you hit the roadblocks, why did you stick with real estate investing? Why did you keep moving forward?
Goals were helpful. For example, somebody here, I'm just going to look at something that says, If I have 160 units, I'll make 16,000 per month. If I have 80 units, I'll make 8,000 per month. If I have 40 units, I'll make 4,000 per month. Those are little things that kind of build up your goals and help you stay on track. So when you take the hits, you can just keep moving forward because you can see kind of a long-term bigger picture where, you know, I tell this story. I hope I can just digress for a second here. I've told this story to some of my relatives and friends, and I've seen the look on their face. But I was like, I rented this place out to this guy. I didn't know that he sublet it to his family. His family included someone that just got a federal prison. Those on-site tenants were paying the money to the guy that I knew was good. It was the leaseholder. Some disagreement broke out between them. I didn't see any money for a couple of years. The place was trashed. It was during the pandemic. I couldn't take any legal action. I'm sitting here on my hands. So what am I supposed to do? I got this place. I'm paying bills on it. Can't get any money. I can't do anything. And then I finally got them out. And then I was fixing the place up, getting ready to put somebody in there. Somebody just came in there and lifted the air conditioner right off of the slab of concrete. And I said, oh my gosh, this property. And I tell it to my family and I kind of laugh. And they're like, wow, dude, can't believe you're doing that stuff. I'd never put myself in that kind of a position. Yeah, well, I own some other units and stuff like that, so I'm able to keep steering towards my goals and stuff like that. So thank you for allowing me to tell you that short story.
That's actually a great story. That's a great story. Real life lessons. So that's great.
You probably got those stories. Everybody's got those stories.
Yep. That's a good one though. So how has investing in real estate impacted other areas of your life, like outside of finances and how many places you own? How has it impacted other areas?
Well, I'm able to, it's kind of improved my communications with my wife. I mean, we've sort of learned to kind of a trust thing where you can say, hey, honey, I'm going to show you something that I'm thinking about doing. And, that's something that when I first started on my real estate journey, I wouldn't tell her some things that I was doing because I just felt like she wasn't looking at things the right way. And this was sort of a trust building exercise, in our marriage. That's helped me. Real estate helped me do that. It's changed my focus better so that if I have some downtime or if my mind is blank and I'm looking through hundreds of emails, I can direct my attention to more productive things that help me grow this. It's a purpose in my life that it's filled some kind of a void that I might have had in my life before. I'm an avid golfer and an avid tennis player, but those got moved a little bit down the priority chain because we're building something here. We're gonna build something big, and it's going to be a legacy that I can pass on to somebody. That's a purpose. That adds to my purpose of my life. So that's helped me a lot. And fear, I've reduced my fear. I've reduced my mistrust. I better know how the world works. I see people with fantastic wealth and fantastic properties and fantastic lifestyles. And I feel like, that's within reach of people. That's really within reach of people. And that opens up your mind about maybe not everybody wants to hear about this, but if they knew what was on the other side, boy, they would be interested in, getting involved in this. How you could start kind of small with some small steps and how this could grow. And you're not selling anything and you're not trying to get something over on anybody, and you're still maintaining the safety of your household and your family, stuff like that.
So what
They're
did
not
you,
gonna they're not gonna fall off the front porch and sue you or anything like that. I mean, it probably won't happen. That catastrophic thinking, no more.
oh, that's good.
Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah. What did you hope would happen that hasn't?
Oh, that's a good question. That I had hoped that I could work more with some of my family, that I could do deals with them, that we could pool our resources together. And I'm still working on that, but it's been a slower, maybe because of my own, like, for example, let's say that, well, I want to syndicate an apartment building. I want to go to people and I want to show them what we can do with this. And I want them to participate this and be general partners. I had hoped that happened by now after 5 years, but it hasn't happened yet. It still might. I think it will. And that's my own personal growth thing that I think I need to do more of as well. Why hasn't that happened? I mean, I should be doing that. I should be finding things and getting some people to help, come on board with me. And I haven't made that leap yet. I still need to do that. I still maybe it's some more training that I need or something like that. That's something like that. More traveling for real estate. I'm not getting to visit my properties as much as I feel like I should. So, and then I had hoped that I still want to get better at finding properties. Still not at the optimal search level that I need to be at. I need to go and use some of the tools that are out there and go find deals. I need to find these deals and bring them to people, or do them myself. If I can't do them myself, bring them to people. So I need to step up my level on that. I'm shifting out of the 40-hour work week and I'm shifting more over here. So I'm slow, but I'm getting there.
So on the flip side, what has happened that surprised you?
Okay, well, that's a good question too. I've seen the value of properties and the value of rents take a big jump. It feels like in the last year or so. So that was a pleasant surprise to find that. And I found some deals that either came to me or I found, and these turned out to be pretty good deals. And I'm always surprised. I'm like a kid that just found an Easter egg or something like that, because so those are always fun surprises to find. And then yeah, those are a couple things that that surprised me, and I'm pleasantly surprised about that. I didn't know that it was such a powerful tax strategy either. When I went through all this tax return stuff, and I realized that I wasn't paying very much income taxes on my W-2 money. Always a pleasant surprise, because I never want to, like, I don't want any taxes withheld because I'm just not paying any. I was more like, why don't you hold on to my money for a year, and just to be safe. And then I had to fight through this tax return extension, and where's my money? Yeah, I want my money back. And then I get them and I'm pleasantly surprised. all about the money. I'm not saying that, but the tax advantages, pleasantly surprised at that. And so those are pleasant surprises. And I might have some more, but I'll email them to you if that's
All
okay.
right. Fair enough. What strengths do you possess that you think may have made this endeavor easier for you?
Oh, wow. You ask a lot of great questions, man. I would say that I'm somewhat of a calm and focused person, and difficult situations I've encountered, I've been able to weather any kind of a storm, and you know, I've had people manage my property, and I've been disappointed, sometimes that they just were doing the bare minimum, like, and I had to go and dig into that. So that's has to do with persistence and following up, checking things, and being relentless about that, being consistent with, I'm going to be looking at these statements, and I'm going to be questioning you about these things on here, even if it's $75. And you're not going to be happy that you keep getting these questions from me, but I'm sorry, I'm going to have to keep asking them. So that's a quality of mine. I'm a difficult, painful person to just keep following up with them like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then, as I grew into this, I became more open-minded and more of a learner, a thinker, if you will. So, thanks.
Sure. And what personal characteristics worked against you in the beginning?
Well, I have to make sure that I stay focused on stuff, and I don't let my brain start switching on and off into different places like that. So that was something that I you know. So when I work in finance and accounting, if you work in the same position for a number of years, your mind begins to just it's not firing on all cylinders. You're sort of focused on your job, and so I found out that when I worked on real estate, my real estate brain was more powerful than my finance and accounting brain. So I had to use both brains, though, because I didn't want to lose my finance and accounting brain. I didn't want to let it go to waste. So my real estate brain was growing stronger and faster and more creatively than my finance and accounting brain. And so that was a startup issue with that part of the brain. Yeah. So, and then, patience, waiting for that check to come in, and waiting for the situation to be resolved, and waiting and waiting and waiting. And you just have to build up your strength, your muscle that just says, you're going to have to be patient and wait. This is going to resolve itself. I was told that this was going to sell, by August of 2022, and now it doesn't look like it's going to sell in August 2022, and I'm not sure when it's going to sell, but I know it's going to sell, and soon. So I'll keep digging, find out when it's going to sell. It's a valuable thing. Patience, some of those old-time virtues. But yeah, so those were some of the things that I had to overcome. I had a large amount of trivia in my brain that I was carrying around that I was able to access immediately, and I no longer need to be have that available for immediate access. And I need to focus and, retain other information. That's more important.
So what's changed about who you are since you started down this path? In what ways do you think you're a different person?
Yeah, I am. I'm a different person now. I'm more patient. I'm more tolerant. I'm more focused. I'm more open to learning things. And I know that if I am coachable and I follow the path of some other people that are having a lot of success, that I don't need to go out and try to do stuff on my own. That there's a larger thing going on here that I need to plug into. So that's been a good positive change for me. I mentioned earlier that I can talk to my wife about this stuff better now after 5 years than when I first started, where I thought she might not react favorably to some deal or something that she found out about after the fact. So, yep. And then, try to look at the big picture and protect myself with an LLC and how to use that, how to leverage tax strategies. But sorry, I got off track there.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
those are some things since I started this real estate journey that are exciting to me. When you start to see the bigger picture of how big this is, you get excited about it and you become more focused about it, and your real estate brain starts activating. It's like there's this shortage of places that there's a bunch of people that need to rent a place right now in the United States, and we don't have enough places for them to rent. So somebody's gotta help work on that problem.
So did you discover anything about yourself that surprised you?
I was surprised that I keep feeling like I'm getting stronger. I thought I would start to plateau and kind of go down a little bit, but now I feel like my trajectory is going up. So I was surprised by that. I'm in my 60s, and I thought you're supposed to wind down and have a glass of wine and get in your RV and go on vacation and play golf. But not the case always. I still want to do that, but yeah, my motivation, my determination, my focus, I feel like they're stronger and getting better. I wasn't always sure that would be the case.
All right. So we're almost done. I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now. How has your life changed?
5 years from now, I'm going to have a very large percentage of all my debts paid off. I'm going to own my personal residence. I'm going to have a passive income stream that's strong enough to support my existing lifestyle and better. And I'm going to be increasing my network of people, of quality people that I'm working with. And I'm going to be continuing to learn and grow about real estate and the people that are involved in it. Maybe at that point, I'll be mentoring and coaching people, which I think is, an advancement of this journey that I'm on. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So go ahead.
Write this down.
So last question, what advice do you have to offer to others?
advice I have to offer to others is to be coachable, keep learning at an accelerated pace. If you're dealing with issues of trust or fear, you know, have a delayed response to those. Don't immediately reject things out of hand or close your mind off to stuff. Be aware that there's changes coming down the road, and that you're resilient enough that you can absorb, things, the ups and downs that are going to happen. Don't get too high and don't get too low. Somebody told me it's and those are advices. Have balance in your life. Take care of your family. Take care of your loved ones. I mean, that's important. And then, play the long game. This is not going to happen overnight, and you're going to have to grind it out. And I remember something that I heard in my boot camp. It's like, buy 3 and keep 1, buy 3 and keep 1. And I go, oh, that's always stuck in my mind, because it seemed like, boy, that's a really good strategy to use. If you did that over a certain number of years, that would work. So I hope that maybe there's one thing that I said that would be advice to somebody that would help them. Go find successful people and talk to them. Join a real estate organization that's in your city. I think I heard that in a seminar or a boot camp. Somewhere in my city of San Pedro, there's a bunch of real estate enthusiasts, and they're meeting once a week. And I'm going to be in that meeting and talk to those people. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
I think I said
Lance Edwards, this is Kristen Crabtree. Please join us again when we interview our next department champion. If you'd like to learn how you can become our next department champion, please call our office at 281-667-3638. You're only one deal away.